The fall before the rise, hook and setup. In the dark vastness of space, there was a small human ship named the Solace. It moved slowly between stars and planets, its lights dim against the endless black. On board, Dr. Arjun Mehta, a calm and skilled medic, prepared for another lonely day. He had seen many strange things in his long career, but nothing could have prepared him for what was coming. Dr. Mehta was a quiet man who believed in helping those in need. His small vessel was not armed for battle. Instead, it was filled with healing tools and medicine. This ship was his home and his duty, to bring help to those who suffered, even in the deepest corners of the galaxy. He had earned a reputation as a brave and kind medic among the scattered colonies of humanity. One day, while flying near a forgotten star system, the Solace received a weak signal. It was a cry for help, lost among the static of space. The message was faint and almost impossible to understand. But Dr. Mehta's heart skipped a beat. He knew that any plea for help meant someone was in trouble. He adjusted his controls and steered the ship toward the signal. As he approached the source, the view on his small monitor revealed the wreck of a once great vessel. The ship was broken, its hull cracked, and its engines dead. Amid the debris, Dr. Mehta could see a small, shivering figure. The figure moved slowly, barely visible in the dim light of distant stars. Dr. Mehta landed his ship on a nearby small planetoid. The ground was rough and silent, with no sound except the soft hum of his ship's engine. With his medical kit in hand, he stepped off the Solace and moved carefully toward the wreck. Every step he took felt heavy, as if the silence of space was pressing down on him. When he reached the debris, he saw that the figure was not human. It was an alien girl with large dark eyes and skin that shimmered like silver. She lay motionless, a soft glow faintly visible around her. Dr. Mehta's heart filled with both worry and determination. He knelt beside her and gently checked her pulse. It was weak, but she was alive. He called out softly, "I am here to help you." His voice echoed in the stillness of the empty world. The girl's eyes flickered open for a moment, filled with fear and confusion. There was no common language between them, but in that brief moment, a silent understanding passed between the medic and the alien. Her life was fragile, and Dr. Mehta knew he had to act fast. In the cold light of the planetoid, Dr. Mehta carefully lifted the alien girl and carried her back to his ship. He laid her on a clean bed and began his work. As he cleaned her wounds, he wondered about the ship that had brought her here. Who was she? What kind of people did she belong to? And what had happened to her vessel? Outside, the silent space held many secrets. Unseen dangers and hidden foes could be lurking in the shadows of the distant star system. Dr. Mehta felt that this rescue was only the beginning of a much larger story. The faint cry for help, the wreck in the silence, and now the mysterious alien girl. All these signs told him that fate had chosen him for a special mission. Inside the ship, the soft beeping of medical instruments mixed with the steady hum of the engine. Dr. Mehta worked with focused care. He used every skill he had learned over the years to stabilize the girl. He gave her medicine, cleaned her wounds, and checked her breathing. Every small improvement in her condition filled him with hope. Yet there was an uneasy feeling in the air. The signals on his communication system suddenly spiked, and strange noises came from the dark void outside. Dr. Mehta paused in his work. The silence of space, usually calm and steady, now seemed full of hidden voices and dark movements. He knew that in a galaxy filled with silence, danger often lurked in the shadows. He secured the girl in a safe chamber inside his ship and began scanning the area around him. His instruments picked up a series of faint, irregular signals coming from nearby. They were too weak and chaotic to be natural. Dr. Mehta realized that he was not alone. Something else was out there, watching, waiting, or perhaps searching for the same source of distress that had led him to the wreck. As the alien girl rested, her silver skin reflecting the soft glow of the emergency lights, Dr. Mehta looked out through the ship's viewport. He saw distant stars twinkling in the endless darkness and wondered what strange stories they held. He knew that the rescue of this young alien was only the first step. A long journey lay ahead, filled with secrets, danger, and the possibility of hope. In that quiet moment, Dr. Mehta made a silent promise. No matter what dangers awaited him, he would not abandon the alien girl. Her life depended on his care, and he felt a deep duty to protect her. As the ship's engines hummed softly and the signals outside continued their mysterious dance, the medic braced himself for the challenges to come. The fall had begun, and with it, the rise of a new chapter in a galaxy of silence, a flicker of hope. After the tense moments on the planetoid, Dr. Arjun Mehta returned to his ship with the alien girl safe inside. The ship's corridors were quiet as he carefully carried his patient to a special medical chamber. Here, soft lights glowed, and the gentle hum of the ship's machines filled the air. Dr. Mehta set the girl down on a clean bed and began his work, his hands steady and his mind filled with worry. In the soft light, the alien girl looked peaceful but fragile. Her silver skin glowed faintly, and her large dark eyes were closed as she rested. Dr. Mehta studied her carefully. He noted strange markings on her skin that did not match any known language. He also saw a small silver pendant that was clutched tightly in her hand. This pendant, though simple, shimmered with an inner light. Dr. Mehta wondered if it held any clues to her past. The medic gently cleaned her wounds and set up a monitor to track her vital signs. As he worked, he spoke softly to her. "I will take care of you," he said. Even though she could not understand his words, there was comfort in his calm tone. It was a promise that she was not alone in this vast, silent galaxy. As Dr. Mehta worked, he began to examine the pendant more closely. It was small and round, with delicate designs that looked like a map of stars. He could not tell its purpose right away, but he suspected that it might be important. Perhaps it was a keepsake from her people, a symbol of her home, or a key to a secret she could not yet share. This thought brought a spark of hope to Dr. Mehta, and he resolved to learn more about it. Outside, the ship's sensors still picked up strange signals. The signals were soft but persistent, like a whisper in the dark. Dr. Mehta decided to use his free time to run a scan of the area around the planetoid. He hoped to find more information about what had happened to the alien girl's ship and her people. As he started the scan, his eyes flicked over the readouts and maps displayed on the screen. The scan revealed remnants of a signal that did not belong to any human colony. The pattern was unusual, and it hinted at a lost communication from a distant world. Dr. Mehta's mind raced with questions. Had the alien girl come from that world? Could the pendant be connected to that signal? The answers were hidden in the mysteries of the galaxy, and he felt a strong pull to follow this thread. While Dr. Mehta delved into the ship's database for clues, the alien girl began to stir. Her eyes fluttered open, and she looked around with a mix of fear and wonder. For a moment, she looked directly at Dr. Mehta, as if trying to understand who he was. The doctor smiled gently and held up a small mirror so that she could see her own face. This small act of kindness seemed to calm her, and her breathing steadied. Even though there was a language barrier, moments of connection grew between them. Dr. Mehta used simple gestures and careful expressions to try to communicate. He pointed to the pendant and then to himself, as if to say, "I care about you." Slowly, the girl reached out and touched his hand, a silent thank you for his kindness. In that moment, a spark of hope glowed between them, a promise of trust and the start of a new bond. Dr. Mehta continued his work on the pendant. He set it aside on a small table near his console and began a careful analysis. The ship's instruments showed that the pendant emitted a faint, unusual energy. It was not dangerous, but it was unlike anything he had seen before. He wondered if it could be a source of power or perhaps a memory device left by her people. This mystery added another layer to his growing determination to protect and understand her. With every passing hour, the alien girl's condition slowly improved. Dr. Mehta administered gentle care, always mindful of the need for caution. He also spent time studying the data from the nearby star system. The remnants of the signal began to form a clearer picture. It seemed that there had been a conflict, a battle between forces that Dr. Mehta did not yet fully understand. The signals hinted at a struggle that might have caused her ship to crash and her people to be scattered. At the same time, Dr. Mehta felt a deep sense of responsibility. He was not just a medic. He was now the keeper of the alien girl's future. The mystery of the pendant and the distant signal tugged at him, urging him to seek answers. Every beep of the scanner and every flicker of the monitor brought him closer to the truth. But he also knew that answers in the galaxy of silence rarely came easily. The medic took a moment to look out the window of his ship. Outside, stars shone like tiny beacons of hope in the endless darkness. The silence of space was no longer empty but filled with the promise of discovery and change. Dr. Mehta felt that despite the recent fall, this rescue had sparked a new beginning, a flicker of hope in the cold void of the universe. As the ship moved slowly through space, Dr. Mehta recorded his thoughts in a small log. He wrote about the alien girl, her mysterious pendant, and the strange signal. He promised himself that he would find the truth about her past and her people. More than that, he vowed to protect her, even if it meant facing unknown dangers lurking in the dark. In that quiet chamber, with the alien girl resting peacefully and the ship humming softly around them, hope had begun to grow. Dr. Mehta felt that their fates were now intertwined. The medic was determined to uncover the secrets hidden in the pendant and the distant echoes of the lost signal. In a galaxy where silence had ruled for so long, a new voice was beginning to emerge, a voice of hope, care, and the promise of a brighter future, the search for truth. Dr. Arjun Mehta woke early in the soft light of his ship's cabin. The alien girl still rested in the secure chamber, and the quiet hum of the engines reminded him of the long journey ahead. Today, he decided, he would begin to search for the truth behind the mysterious pendant and the strange signals. There was so much he did not understand, and every answer could lead to more questions. He started by checking the ship's database for any record of the symbol he had seen on the pendant. The designs were not like any human script. Dr. Mehta typed slowly, using simple words and basic search commands. The computer screen flickered as it worked through the archives of human and alien history. After some time, a few old entries appeared. They mentioned an ancient race known only as the Celestials, who were said to carry small tokens of power and knowledge. Could this be a hint to the alien girl's origin? With his heart filled with cautious hope, Dr. Mehta made detailed notes about the Celestials and the symbols. He compared the designs on the pendant with the sketches in the old files. There were similarities, though the records were few and not very clear. The mystery deepened. He realized that if he was to help the alien girl, he would have to uncover more about her past and the people she came from. After gathering as much data as he could, Dr. Mehta turned his attention to the strange signal that had led him to the planetoid. He connected the signal's code to the ship's navigation system. The signal was weak and scattered, but with careful tuning, he found a pattern, a series of coordinates hidden in the noise. These coordinates pointed to a distant star system on the edge of known space. This discovery made his pulse quicken. He felt that following these coordinates might lead him to a place of answers, a home or a place of history for the alien girl. Before setting course for the unknown, Dr. Mehta decided to check on the alien girl one more time. He stepped into the secure chamber where she rested. The soft glow from the emergency lights fell gently on her silver skin, and he marveled at how peaceful she looked now that her breathing had steadied. He approached her slowly and whispered, "We will find your home, your people." He hoped his words, though simple, could offer comfort. For a moment, her eyes opened, and a spark of recognition shone within them. Dr. Mehta smiled, believing that trust was growing between them. Returning to his console, Dr. Mehta input the coordinates into the navigation system. The ship began to adjust its course, and soon the distant star system grew larger on the view screen. The new star system was unlike any he had seen before. It had several bright stars and a cluster of planets that looked untouched and full of life. One planet, in particular, caught his attention, a world with a mix of green and blue hues surrounded by a faint ring of light. It seemed almost like a beacon in the dark. As the Solace moved closer, Dr. Mehta ran scans on the planet. The readings revealed traces of advanced technology buried under layers of nature. There were remnants of structures and faint energy readings that could be linked to the Celestials. His excitement grew. This could be the key to learning more about the pendant and the lost signal. Every piece of data suggested that he was on the right path to uncovering a secret that had been hidden for a long time. While analyzing the data, Dr. Mehta noted that the planet showed signs of a past conflict. There were scars on the surface and echoes of old power struggles. It made him wonder if the alien girl's people had been caught in a battle that left them scattered and weak. The idea filled him with a sense of urgency. Not only did he want to know more about her home, but he also felt responsible for protecting her from a past that might still haunt her. He decided to prepare the ship for a landing on the mysterious planet. Dr. Mehta carefully plotted the safest course through the planet's atmosphere. He checked his instruments, his heart filled with both excitement and concern. This mission was not just about science or history. It was about a life that now depended on him. As the ship descended, the view of the planet's surface came into sharper focus. The green and blue of the land were dotted with ruins and strange, ancient structures. Dr. Mehta recorded every detail, knowing that each observation could lead him to answers. The atmosphere was calm, yet filled with the silent echoes of a once great civilization. Before landing, Dr. Mehta paused to think of the future. He looked at the alien girl's peaceful form and remembered her gentle eyes, full of mystery and hope. His mind was clear with the simple promise he had made, to find the truth about her past and help rebuild her future. The search for truth was not just a mission for him, it was a promise to a friend in need. With a steady hand, he brought the ship to a smooth landing on a flat, open area near some of the ancient ruins. Dr. Mehta secured the ship and prepared to step out, his steps measured and calm. He knew that once he left the safety of the Solace, the real search for answers would begin. The path ahead was uncertain, and dangers might lie in wait, but the spark of hope kept him going. Standing on the surface of the mysterious planet, Dr. Mehta felt the weight of history and the potential of a new beginning. The truth was hidden somewhere in these ruins and in the echoes of the old energy signals. With the pendant as his guide and the alien girl's future in his care, he stepped forward into the unknown, ready to unravel the secrets of a forgotten past and to bring light into the silence of the galaxy. Unveiling the ruins, Dr. Arjun Mehta stepped off his ship onto the soft, dusty ground of the mysterious planet. The air was calm but carried a whisper of the past. He looked around at the ancient ruins spread out before him. Broken columns and weathered carvings told stories of a once great civilization. The landscape was a mix of green, blue, and hints of rust from the old structures. Every stone and every shadow seemed to hold secrets waiting to be discovered. Dr. Mehta felt a quiet excitement as he began his careful walk toward the nearest ruin. His mind was focused on the mysterious pendant and the clues it might hold. He carried a small kit with tools to examine the ancient carvings and a handheld scanner to pick up any hidden energy signals. The pendant, still glowing softly in its small box on the ship, was the only guide to her lost history. With each step, he wondered if he was close to learning more about the Celestials, and perhaps the alien girl's true home. The ruin was large, with a high archway carved with symbols similar to those on the pendant. Dr. Mehta paused at the archway and ran his fingers over the carvings. They were worn by time, but the pattern was clear enough. The symbols told a story of a people who revered life, knowledge, and the balance of nature. The design on the pendant seemed to match one of the symbols. This small connection filled him with hope that the pendant was indeed a key to unlocking the lost language of the ruins. He took out his scanner and pointed it at the archway. The device beeped softly as it registered a faint energy signature. Dr. Mehta noted the reading and made a mental note to return with better equipment later. For now, his senses and instincts would guide him. The silence around him was broken only by the soft crunch of his footsteps on the gravelly surface. There was a peaceful rhythm in the quiet of the ruins, a rhythm that spoke of time long past. As he ventured deeper into the ruins, Dr. Mehta found a central courtyard. Here, a large stone platform sat in the middle, surrounded by fragments of walls and broken statues. In the center of the platform lay a shallow basin filled with clear water. The water, untouched by time, reflected the light of the planet's distant sun. Dr. Mehta paused to take in the scene, feeling that this place was once a site of great importance, a gathering spot for the people who had built these structures. Near the edge of the courtyard, he noticed more symbols carved into the stone floor. These markings formed a pattern that led toward a narrow passageway between two large walls. Dr. Mehta's curiosity grew. He moved toward the passageway, stepping carefully so as not to disturb any hidden traps or unstable stones. The passage was dark, but small cracks in the ceiling allowed thin beams of light to shine through, creating a natural spotlight on the ancient drawings. Inside the passage, the walls were covered with murals that depicted scenes of life, struggle, and unity. In one mural, a group of people held what looked like the very pendant that Dr. Mehta had found on the alien girl. Their faces were gentle and kind, and they appeared to be in a ritual of healing or remembrance. The resemblance was striking. Dr. Mehta took out his portable camera and recorded the images, knowing that these visuals could be the key to understanding the connection between the pendant and the lost civilization. The passage led him to a small chamber where the walls were lined with stone tablets. Each tablet was covered in similar symbols and depictions of star maps. Dr. Mehta sat down on a smooth stone bench and studied the tablets carefully. He could see a story emerging, a tale of a people who traveled among the stars, seeking wisdom and peace. Their journey was marked by hardships and battles, yet they always returned to the idea of healing and growth. In a quiet way, the story resonated with him. He thought of his own life as a medic, always trying to mend what was broken. At the far end of the chamber, Dr. Mehta discovered a raised pedestal with a circular indentation in the center. The design on the pedestal was intricate, and it matched the pattern on the pendant. His heart beat faster as he realized that this pedestal might have been designed to hold the pendant, like a key to a hidden door or a message. With careful hands, he reached into his satchel and pulled out the small, glowing pendant. It fit perfectly into the circular space on the pedestal. The moment the pendant was placed in the indentation, a soft hum filled the room. The stone walls vibrated gently, and hidden panels in the chamber began to shift. Dr. Mehta stepped back as a section of the wall slowly slid open, revealing the hidden passage. The opening was narrow but inviting, and light spilled out from its depths as if it were a window to a forgotten world. Dr. Mehta stood for a long moment, watching the passage. He felt that he was on the brink of discovering more than just the history of a lost civilization. This hidden door could lead to the truth about the alien girl, her people, and the purpose of the mysterious pendant. The excitement and the danger of the unknown mingled in his heart. Taking a deep breath, Dr. Mehta gathered his courage and stepped into the new passage, leaving the familiar courtyard behind. Each step echoed softly as he moved further into the darkness. The hidden passage promised answers, and as he walked, he made a silent vow to protect the secrets of the past and to use them to help the fragile life he carried back on his ship. In the quiet ruins, the echoes of the past spoke clearly, and Dr. Mehta was ready to listen. The echoes of the past. Dr. Arjun Mehta stepped carefully into the hidden passage, leaving the warm light of the ruins behind. The corridor was narrow and dim, with walls that seemed to whisper secrets from long ago. The soft glow of his handheld light fell on old carvings and delicate symbols, each one telling a story of a people lost in time. Every step he took made the silence heavier, yet his heart beat with hope and determination. After a short walk, the passage opened into a large, circular chamber. The room was unlike any he had seen so far. The ceiling was high, and ancient symbols were etched into every surface. In the center of the chamber, a stone dais held what looked like a carved basin. The basin was empty, but its design was similar to the patterns on the alien pendant. Dr. Mehta felt that he was now standing in a place of great memory. He moved slowly toward the dais and noticed that the walls were not only carved with symbols, but also embedded with panels that shone with a soft, blue light. As he looked closer, he saw that these panels showed images, like frozen moments in time. The images told the story of a once great people who lived by the light of knowledge and healing. They built great cities, traveled among the stars, and left messages in these very walls for those who would come after. Dr. Mehta's eyes were drawn to a sequence of images that showed a gathering of beings very much like the alien girl. In these images, they wore symbols and carried small, glowing pendants that matched the one he now protected. The beings were shown healing one another and sharing wisdom in a time of peace. Then, the images turned dark. He saw scenes of a great conflict, battles that scared the land and shattered the unity of the people. The art was simple, yet it spoke clearly of loss and sorrow. A low hum began to fill the chamber as the blue light on the panels pulsed gently. Dr. Mehta stepped back in awe as one of the panels shifted, revealing a carved inscription. The inscription was accompanied by a faint, warm glow that grew steadily brighter. It was as if the chamber was waking up after a long sleep. The light slowly took the shape of words and images that floated in the air, a holographic message from the ancient past. The hologram showed an elder with kind eyes and a calm smile. Though the language was old, simple words appeared below the image. The message told of a great healing power that had once united the people. It spoke of a time when the guardians of peace and knowledge had safeguarded their secrets for the good of all life. The elder's message was clear. In times of great darkness, the light of healing and unity must be reborn. Dr. Mehta listened carefully. The message explained that the pendant was a symbol of that healing power. It had been passed down through generations as a sign of hope and responsibility. The alien girl, with her matching pendant and gentle spirit, was no accident. She was part of a legacy that was meant to restore balance and bring healing back to the scattered remnants of her people. The chamber's walls continued to shift, displaying more images of ancient rituals and gatherings under starlit skies. Dr. Mehta saw scenes of people working together to mend both the land and each other. In one image, he noticed a figure who resembled the alien girl, standing in a place of honor among her people. The image gave him a strong sense that her past was not lost, but hidden, waiting to be uncovered and restored. As the holographic message faded, Dr. Mehta took a deep breath. He understood that the chamber was a library of memories, a place where the echoes of the past were preserved for those who could see them. The alien girl's life was intertwined with these lost stories, and now he held the key to unlocking them. The healing traditions and peaceful ways of her ancestors were not just relics. They were a guide for a future where wounds, both old and new, could finally mend. With careful hands, he touched one of the panels. The surface was cool, and when his fingers made contact, the light beneath flickered as if reacting to his touch. The chamber felt alive with meaning. Dr. Mehta made a quiet promise to himself. He would learn all he could about this ancient legacy and use that knowledge to help the alien girl reclaim her heritage. In doing so, he hoped to bring a measure of peace to a galaxy long marked by silence and sorrow. Just as he turned to leave the chamber with a renewed sense of purpose, his handheld scanner beeped suddenly. The sound was soft, but it cut through the stillness like a sharp note in a quiet song. Dr. Mehta paused. The scanner's light danced over the stone floor, and he noticed a narrow gap near the dais that he had not seen before. It looked like a hidden door, partially covered by hanging moss and debris. The sudden beep made his heart race. Had the activation of the chamber awakened something else? The idea that he might not be alone in this ancient place sent a chill down his spine. Dr. Mehta reached slowly for his sidearm, though his eyes stayed fixed on the gap. The chamber of memories, with all its hope and sorrow, now also held a promise of danger and the unknown. With a steady hand, Dr. Mehta approached the hidden door, his mind alert and his senses keen. Behind it, he hoped, lay further secrets of the past, answers that might explain not only the alien girl's origins, but also the fate of her people. In that moment, as the echoes of ancient voices still whispered softly around him, Dr. Mehta realized that his journey was far from over. The past had many more secrets to share, and with each secret, the light of hope grew a little brighter in the vast silence of the galaxy.